Hello, guys. The Batman is a very interesting show. The Batman. I cannot talk. Okay, so The Batman is a very interesting show from 2004. Honestly, pretty good show. First two seasons. Season 3 and 4, I'll get into that. So, yeah, because with this video, I don't really want to talk about the first two seasons because it's way more fun to complain about rather than, be like, oh my god, so awesome. No, this sucks. Anyways, so yeah. And although, just a quick summary of the first two seasons. Great. In fact, I think I loved all the episodes except the episodes from season 1 with Bane and Mr. Freeze. But other than that, I loved all the episodes from the first two seasons. So yeah, that's really saying something. That I loved all the episodes from the first two seasons. Except the Bane and Mr. Freeze episodes, because Bane and Mr. Freeze is easily the worst parts of the show. Anyways, yeah, so let's get into this video! 24. Cash for Toys. This might be the worst episode of the show ever. I hate it so much. The villain is annoying. The characters are annoying. This is easy. One of the worst episodes of television I've ever seen. So, I hate this one too much, maybe. And this might be, I don't care if this is unpopular or not. I hate it, and I hate it. A fistful of felt. God, this episode just made me so sad. Like, I wanted the ventriloquist to be like, yeah, I can do my own thing. But no, we can't have characters change. We have to have things go back to the status quo. Ooh, man. But God, like, I love redemption arcs for characters. And I hate about how they took ventriloquists away. The episode should have been... it should have maybe been about, like, a new ventriloquist. Similar to the Clayface episode, which I'll talk about in a while, which is, actually competent. Again, just think of the episodes you'll get to talk about later. Overall, again, terrible episode. Number 22, The Laughing Cats. Okay, this is the beginning of the mediocre/forgettable episodes. These are basically the episodes during this time which are just mediocre and forgettable. And I will not talk about them that much. It has Joker and Catwoman and they're in like a maze. Batgirl and Batman are in here. This is just an episode that just blends together. And those are some of the worst episodes. Is these episodes that just blend together. So it's just kind of mediocre and I don't even want to waste my breath that much continuing to talk about it. I mean, and it also has Joker and Catwoman, who I guess might as well talk about some of the villains so far. The ventriloquist, I think, is an amazing villain. We don't talk about Cash for Toys. Joker, I feel like the Joker in the show, I feel like started off pretty good, but slowly kind of lost his charm. Although his voice in the first two seasons felt weird. Maybe it's because I'm so used to Mark Hamill as the Joker. Because I always was like, because for whatever reason I thought it'd be Mark Hamill who'd be voicing him for whatever reason, even though it clearly wasn't. Luckily, for whatever reason, I remember in the episode Blonde, this was when in the episode Blonde, I just got used to it. But I don't know, for the first two seasons, it kind of felt weird. Yeah, and also Catwoman. Again, she's an okay villain, but I'm kind of glad she didn't get those many episodes, especially knowing how big of a villain she is. She's definitely like the opposite of Penguin. Well, Penguin got a lot of episodes, while usually in most shows he would get very little. Catwoman got the opposite. Anyways, next episode. I spent way too much on this one. Thunder. Thunder is 21. Thunder. Thunder is a very interesting episode. I'm not a huge fan of Maxie Zeus. I think he's just kind of annoying. And overall, this episode was just kind of boring. And again, not a forgettable, mediocre episode. I remember me, for whatever reason, the first time I watched this, I was like, whoa. I remember loving this episode, but on my recent rewatch, I realized that this episode isn't really that good. And I kind of overhyped it. I don't know why. I've never been a fan of Maxie Zeus. I just thought he was a Batman villain who was kind of blended together with the others. And was a weird Batman villain who appears in way too much stuff. Like, why do you have to appear in BTS and the Batman? Like, I don't know. Again, though, the difference between BTS and the Batman is that BTS stay consistently amazing. While the Batman, I feel like it started off pretty good, but again, like this entire video's plot, basically, it just got worse and worse. Season 5 was so bad, I couldn't even just rank it because the entire season would be at the bottom of the list. So I just want to talk about each episode as it came out. So, yeah, next. The Breakout introduces Black Mask, another mediocre villain. And the worst thing is that this is about Robin and Batgirl. And it's just mediocre and generic and forgettable. Again, another thing about these two seasons is that at that point I kind of figured out about the formulaicness. The episode starts off with the bad crew doing something. Then a villain appears, they fight them, they lose, then they do a little calculating, and then they come back stronger. And you could say this about a lot of shows, but I think most shows do this usually way better. Shows like The Spectacular Spider-Man, Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Justice League the Animated Series, and Justice League Unlimited. Like, honestly, I feel like Justice League the Animated Series and JLU as one is probably my favorite, but if you count them as two different shows, my favorite superhero show is probably Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Too bad my review of it got taken down by the snipers that are Disney, okay? So that, and I'm not even gonna try and recreate that video. Plus, like, I don't know. Also, guys, if you want me to talk, God, why do I keep rambling? If you guys want me to talk about something like Wolverine and the X-Men, like, and have me talk about why I think that show is pretty overrated, I will talk about Wolverine and the X-Men and why I think it's really overrated. But anyways, back. Let's get back into the ranking. 19, Two of a Kind. Two of a Kind is a very interesting episode. Joker and Harley are together, and listen, thank God they didn't do Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy in the show. I mean, maybe they did in like the comics or something, but I only watched the show and watched the movie. And I'd argue also that the Batman vs. Dracula was the true magnum opus and where this series should have ended, honestly, on a high note. But I guess we couldn't let that happen because then the show would have ended actually good. But, yeah, I keep rambling always. So, yeah, thank God they didn't do that because Harley Quinn in this has to be at least like 30 and Poison Ivy's a teenager. And I think Harley Quinn is just kind of mediocre. And ever since this episode, they just had her stick around with Joker for the rest of the Joker episodes. And she's just kind of boring there. So, yeah. And this is another one of the boring, mediocre, forgettable episodes, which would be thrown in the bin. Number 18, The Joining Part 1 and 2. Yeah, I put this in 24 because I consider the two-parters as one episode. So, yeah, this is a very mediocre episode. Yeah. Except this introduces Martian Manhunter and, yeah, Martian Manhunter was just boring. Martian Manhunter was just boring, and I barely remember the villains. And this also sets up one of my least favorite reveals in this entire show! We'll get to that once we get into the Season 5 section of this video. But we haven't yet, so just calm down. It's not that big of a deal. Alright, yeah. I think I spent way too much time on this episode. Hey, it was nice seeing Lucius Fox. Also, Motion Man, how dumb are you? How'd you fall for Batman being like, Oh yeah, you know my identity? Look, what about now? See, you don't see my identity. What do you mean, Motion Man Owner? How dumb can you be? Nah, Motion Man Owner didn't even fall for that. I refuse. Sorry, I just had to ramble about that one for a bit. You know, I like rambling. Yeah, anyways, back to the ranking. Number 17, Gotham's Ultimate Criminal Mastermind. This was a very mediocre way to end this season, to end season 3. Well, Hugo Strange decided to create this. I'm sorry. I think that this version of Hugo Strange I am not a big fan of. I think he did work sometimes, but I just think that in here it doesn't really fit. I don't know. I don't know. I think this episode is like Hugo is one of my favorite villains in the show, but in this episode, I don't know. I just don't like him in this episode. You know? So yeah. Next, number 16, The Icy Depths. This one was just boring. They said Mr. Freeze and Penguin team up, and oh my god, it's Mr. Freeze! I hate this version of Mr. Freeze so much. But before I talk about Mr. Freeze, I gotta say why I love this Penguin. This Penguin is probably my favorite version of Penguin. You know, favorite adaptation, I should say. He's amazing, and he's also voiced by Tom Kenny. Penguin is SpongeBob! Alright? Also, like, yeah. But then there's Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze. Oh, Mr. Freeze. Why did they turn him into a generic criminal? What? That is not Mr. Freeze. Why did they turn him into a generic criminal? And I know people are like, but they don't want to be identical. Yeah, they don't want to be identical, so they don't want to be good. Why are you going to change Mr. Freeze that much? Why even have Mr. Freeze at that point? And we already know that they're used to creating new villains. Why don't they just not have Mr. Freeze? You know, why don't they have a different villain to replace them? Or what if they, how about they just not have Mr. Freeze? Why include him if you're going to not make him actually good? See, any episode of Mr. Freeze almost immediately is terrible. And he immediately drags on this episode. And also the rest of this episode is also just kind of mediocre, so, yeah. And I spent most of this just rambling about why Mr. Freeze sucks. Number 15, Batgirl Begins Part 1 and 2. And we already have the other two-parters right out. In case you don't know, I don't like the show doing two-parters. Just wait until later in the video when I get into the third two-parter that they did. But yeah, I don't really like Batgirl Begins. It's kind of generic. It's kind of boring. Except maybe they created this to cash off of Batman Begins. Don't know where I was going to go with that. Anyways, so yeah, Batgirl Begins is just a kind of weird episode. And I don't really like Poison Ivy that much either. Poison Ivy is okay. She's in the mediocre villains, but they're like, you didn't really change enough to become different, so you're just kind of mediocre. You know, she's like slightly above Maxie Zeus for me. So, not the actual overall Poison Ivy, but the Poison Ivy in the show. Anyways, next! Number 14, A Dark Knight to Remember. Oh boy, another mediocre, forgettable episode from this saga. A Dark Knight to Remember is a bit... What? Batman loses memory. Oh no! I'm sorry. I don't really like losing memory episodes. They're so generic and mediocre. They just kind of blend together. Not a huge fan of A Dark Knight to Remember. That's what... Hey, but it's higher than... But it's higher than basically half the rest of this, almost. But hey, it's still a part of the bottom half. Just because you're near the top of the bottom half doesn't mean it's good. Just because you're at the top of the trash can doesn't mean that you're as good as an ice cream. Well, I actually, that wasn't in my script. I don't know why I just went off on that one. 13, Clay Faces. Wait, this episode's actually good. We finally escaped the forgettable mediocre episodes. Yeah! Wait, we're halfway through the list. Half being decent is whatever. So, yeah, Clayface is pretty good, and it's a really good way to end off Clayface's stereo. And I really loved it. Clayface had one of the best Oaks, and I'm glad that they got to give him an actual satisfactory ending, which I'm really happy about, you know. Except the new Clayface is really annoying, and having it be at the end that he actually kept his powers didn't ever basically come back. Oh yeah. Came back in one Superman in the Superman episode. They could have gotten rid of his powers permanently and just removed him from that Superman episode, and nothing would have changed. This episode could have been just about having Clayface and the original Clayface reforming once and for all, but no, you have to set up the new Clayface and make him lose powers, but no, he actually did. I'm sorry, I'm just mad that this Clayface never got to actually, truly come back. Whatever. Next. Number 12, the Everywhere Man. The Everywhere Man is a very interesting character. He was a very interesting villain, and this episode is just kind of pretty good. But it was really hard putting it either if it was above Clayface's or below it. But I decided to put it above just cause it's stupid them having Clayface not lose his powers. I swear. That's the only reason it's below the Everywhere Man. Is for that reason. The Everywhere Man would have been below it if not for that. Whatever. Next. Well, we're halfway done with the ranking, so grab a snack and I don't know, just grab a snack since we're halfway done. We were halfway done one entry. Whatever. Grab a snack. Or maybe you wanna wait to grab a snack before we're done with this entire ranking area and we just get into season 5. Originally, I was supposed to have season 5 be only about it, but I wanted to talk about season 3 and 4. So whatever. Anyways, let's get into these other episodes. Number 11, OPM. For whatever reason, before I did my recent rewatch, I swore that OPM was a season 2 episode. I guess I forgot about Batgirl being there. Whatever. This, although if it was a season 2 episode, it would have been one of the weaker season 2 episodes. Also, can I just mention something? It was a terrible idea with us not being able to see Commissioner Gordon on by himself since the season 2 finale and then the season 3 premiere, already had Batgirl. I felt like they were kind of rushing her. So, not really a big fan. But anyways, off with my tangent. OPM, very interesting episode. The villain, although thank God they didn't do what the villain is like. So, yeah, put up what he's supposed to look like. Anyways, yeah. Number 10, Blonde. As I talked about earlier, this was when I got used to the Joker voice. But other than that, it's a pretty good episode, I guess. Although somehow the design in this one is worse than the Venomified Joker in Arkham Asylum. How is that possible? Anyways, yeah, not really a huge fan. But yeah, not really much to talk about. Just a good episode overall. Although it was cool seeing the mech again, but again, I mean, I'm kind of happy that they brought it back. Since, it's such a toyetic design, you'd think it only appeared once and then never again. But hey, pretty cool that it really appeared. By the way, can we just say how bad Bane's design is? What is this? 9. Florius Damal. Florius Damal is I'm just going to say FDM since I cannot pronounce that apparently. And I'm not even going to try. Poison Ivy's back. Poison Ivy gets defeated. I'm really going blank on this episode. It's a good episode. I don't know why the heck I decided to put this back up here. Maybe I should have switched this one out. And maybe I should have put this one below the Clayfaces episode actually. Oh man. Whatever. Next. Number 8. Team Penguin. You don't understand how much I wanted to put this higher. But I don't know. I just didn't have the goal to. But Penguin forms a team and it's pretty cool. This and the next entry was very hard, but I decided that this one's a little too wacky. So I felt like the other one is way better. Number 7, Riddler's Revenge. I'm sorry. I don't get why people hate hate this version of the Widow. Does he look kind of goofy? Yes. But I'm sorry. I love this version of the Widow. He's amazing. I don't know why they did Clue Master before Widow Strange, but whatever. I love Widow. I think in this show, I think he's awesome. And without him, I feel like Widow is probably one of my favorite villains of the show. Okay, so I just love him. Sorry, my voice is getting all messed up. Yeah, overall, pretty cool. I feel like I'm rambling. Whatever. Yeah. I like seeing Widow's origin story, even though this is the last time we'd ever see Widow. Not salty about that at all. Yeah. Anyways, next. Number 6, Rumors. Just barely managing to not scrape the top 5 of my list. But, yeah, I think that this is a pretty cool episode. Very much like it. But, yeah. I like seeing a lot of the old villains. Like, for example, the one psychic villain in Clue Master. It was nice seeing them again. I don't know why my mind is on Clue Master right now. But, yeah, whatever. Pretty cool to see all these dudes back together. But, after all, it can only come so long. So, yeah. I'll see you guys into the top 5. But again, might want to grab a snack. But yeah. I was originally going to place down my overall thoughts, but I'm now going to reframe my script because I think that's pretty stupid. So, yeah. Number 5, Artifacts. This is a very interesting episode. I like the Dark Knight Rises. The only reason it's not higher is because it has Mr. Freeze. Yeah, really. I hate Mr. Freeze that much that he ended up pulling down he ended up pulling down this episode this much. So, yeah. Number 4, A Matter of Family. This was so close to being beaten by Artifacts, but again, Artifacts and Mr. Freeze. Great episode. I love Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill. Pretty cool and just awesome. And a nice way to introduce Robin. Even though overall, Robin wasn't really that cool. Also, it was annoying about how they had 2 different Nightwing hints. What? You're only allowed to have one Nightwing thing. But we'll get into we already know one of the Nightwing things from Artifacts, but we'll get into what the other Nightwing thing is later. Yeah. 3, A Strange New World. A Strange New World is a very interesting episode. The zombie thing was cool, and I really liked it. Although I would kind of prefer if they were able to use Scarecrow, but they couldn't. Put up, what the Batman Scarecrow was supposed to look like. Now, number 2, The Apprentice. When I was making this ranking, I did not think The Apprentice would be my second favorite episode of the season 3 and 4 era. But man, this episode was amazing. It was cool. I kind of wish it was Harley Quinn here, and then they just got rid of Harley Quinn from here, because I think it'd be an interesting idea to have Harley Quinn only appear here and then just never come back. I think it would have actually been kind of cool. But, fine, I'll shut up. Yeah. So, then again, it would have been kind of weird if Harley Quinn was in love, but still, you could only... Plus, it would probably be one of the cooler changes. Better than the change they made to Mr. Freeze, that's for sure. God, any chance I get, I'll make fun of this version Mr. Freeze. Don't know what I was saying there. Anyways, yep, pretty good episode. But number 1 is probably my favorite episode of this entire show. Just like about how number 24 was my least favorite episode of this entire show. Number 1 is my favorite episode of this entire show. Number 1, Seconds. As much as I do not like season 4, This episode is amazing. In this episode, there was a man who spends his time in listen, I'm not even going to spoil anything more about this episode. Find a way to watch it, please. If I could recommend one episode of this entire show, watch that episode. It is amazing. But seriously, it is amazing. Anyways, though, guys, we are done with the ranking now. Alright, guys, now we're going to get into me individually reviewing the Season 5 episodes. Originally, this was just going to be me reviewing the Season 5 episodes, but I want to talk about Season 3 and 4. Overall, though, actually, I preferred Season 4 to 3. Because I'm pretty sure they said, like, they thought that that Season 4 was going to be the final season, so, yeah. Honestly, though, I can't wait to make fun of Season 5. Because Season 3 and 4 had its ups and downs. Although I still preferred the first two seasons. Again, if I were to rank the Batman seasons, it'd be number 5 is Season 5. Number 4 is Season 3. Number 3 is Season 4. Number 2 is Season 1. And number 1 is Season 2. Whatever. Anyways, guys, time to get into Season 5. And time for me to get infinitely more critical. Because I bet that's what you guys missed. Let's go. Alright, guys. Time to get into Season 5. And I already have the thing up. So, whatever. Let's just start this off. To start this off is episode 1 and 2. The Batman-Superman story. For one, can we just say how bad that name is? Come on, just name it World's Finest. I know there's already like an episode called World's Finest, but I do not care. Just call it that. Or anything other than the Batman-Superman story. Generic. Yeah, I'm already swinging out. Also, yeah, and in this episode, Batman and Superman team up. It was cool seeing Metallo, but Lex was bad, and they just had a bunch of Batman villains because, hey, Batman has to represent us somehow, and why is Superman the one who has to learn teamwork? What? This makes no sense. Superman should be hopeful. This Superman just feels weird. Also, this episode is just kind of mediocre, forgettable, trash. Like, there's nothing more for me to say, other than there was actually going to be a planned spinoff called, well, we don't know what it was going to be called, about Superman. Although this is just a rumor that this was going to be a backdoor pilot. I don't know if this would have happened, but thank God. I am so happy that didn't actually happen. More of this Superman would have been bad. So thank God we barely got any more of him after this two-parter. Because these writers do not know how to write for Superman. Hint, hint. They don't know how to write for most characters other than Batman. And even then, Batman in this season kind of got a downgrade. Whatever. Next episode. Oh man, I'm already getting this angry and we literally just started Season 5. This is not good. Episode 3, Vertigo. It has Green Arrow. Yeah, let's just get into this one. Green Arrow, I think, is a very interesting character for this episode, and I like Count Vertigo, but I don't know. Something about this episode just felt off, because you could tell that this was in Season 5, and it was just painfully mediocre. Like, there's nothing too outlandish. There's nothing too, like, oh my God. Like, they massacred my boy Green Arrow. And I feel like, I still wish that we eventually will get a Green Arrow show, or a Wonder Woman show, or a Flash show. So see, how's the Green Lantern show, but not a Green Arrow, or a Flash, or a Wonder Woman show yet? Or at least a cartoon. Come on, this is ridiculous. I know there's like a CW Flash show, but we don't get that. Anyways, just another forgettable episode. Episode 4, White Heat. Oh my God. A good episode? Yeah. I think I spent way too much time recording. But, yeah. Vertigo. I mean, no, not Vortigo. I'm getting these mixed up. It was cool having Firefly turn into Dr. Phosphorus, and it was a cool way to have Phosphorus and Firefly. I mean, there can only be one Firefly in it. And I actually kind of felt bad for Firefly a bit. Again, though, it's because Firefly's the GOAT in this show. And, so that's good. Yeah. So, yeah, this is an actual good episode. So don't expect me to, for me to like this season that much. But hey, this is an actual good episode. In a pile of trash, there's always one diamond, am I right? Is that the saying? I don't know anymore. Also, by the way, the name White Heat makes no sense in this episode, but whatever. Episode 5, Emil Doakley. Emil Doakley is a very interesting episode. Because it introduces the Flash! Yeah! Woo! The Flash! Yeah, in case you don't know, I'm a pretty big Flash fan. And having Mew Master is a cool thing, because usually they just have Captain Cold or Reverse Flash. But Mew Master is an interesting villain. But it's pretty boring. Like, for one, why'd they give Mew Master a female companion? It just didn't feel normal. Like, make Mew Master go solo. I like it when Mew Master's on his own more. Having him have a partner just doesn't make him as interesting, in my opinion. Yeah, but Mew Master is just kind of a mediocre and boring villain. Yeah. So, and Flash is very interesting. But again, he's just your average, mediocre, generic Flash. Episode 6, Joker Express. Me. Listen, I have a lot more to say about the team up episodes, because, the episodes by themselves, most of them, are just boring. And this one's just like, oh wow, Joker Express. Wow, Zooey Mama. Like, it's just nothing. Just boring and generic. Joker here is the worst he's ever been in the show. And it just made me kind of go, oh, well, do I have to sit through another 20 minutes of this other stuff? Like, you see, the problem with the show is that the more and more is that when I'm on a rewatch, I'm like, please, why do I have to watch season 5? Like, I'm honestly tempted the next time I rewatch through this show, I just don't watch season 5. I just don't do that. Not put myself through that pain. Alright. I think me reviewing this episode has lasted one minute too long. Next, episode 7, Wing Toss. This is Hal Jordan get beaten by Sinestro, and we get to see the Penguin. Woo! Yeah, we get to see the Penguin. Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, that's cool. But again, like, this is another generic episode that just feels forgettable. Again, wanna know why the season 5 portion of this video is way shorter than the other portions? It's cause season 5 is the worst season, and it's not even fun to make fun of that much. Like, for one episode that I can easily make fun of, there's another episode that's just forgettable. Next! Episode 8, Metal Face of Comedy. How dare they may insult the masterpiece that is a Level Face of Comedy. How dare they insult that masterpiece! Sorry. Yeah, but just, why? Why they named it this? Why they have to name it this? Why? Sorry about that. Yeah, Metal Face of Comedy. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this is another generic, forgettable episode that makes me just want to go to sleep. Can you tell them we're recording this late? Okay? Can you tell that I'm tired? Like, really tired? Like, please? God, why did I do this all in one shift? Almost done. Alright, next. Episode 9, The Terrible Trio. Oh my God, we're almost done with this video. Oh yeah. The Terrible Trio is an episode. Like, I remember by this one, I was just like, please, why? There's like I still have to go through over another hour of this. Please, why won't it end? Yeah, other than that, it was a pretty mediocre episode. It was just a mediocre episode that I did not care about, which just made me want to go. Next! The end of the Batman. Well, this was clickbait. Made the joke, man, made the joke. Yeah, this had Wrath and Scorn, and again, at this point I was like, come on, what's on you? That's it. I think I have to take a break off writing this script. Yeah, this is just another bad episode. Wrath and Scorn's about to reveal, and then Joker's like, ha ha, no you won't. Yeah. I think I might take a break off writing this script. I've been writing this script so much. I guess I'll see you guys again. And I'm also now going to go to sleep. Episode 11. What goes up? Alright, I'm now going to try and go as fast as I can since I just woke up and I want to try and get done with this. Alright. Let's go. What goes up has Hawkman. Okay, fine. I can't. I gotta say something about this episode. I remember watching a YouTube video about the Batman, and the person saying, Hawkman wasn't doing justice in the Justice League. What do you mean? He was awesome in Justice League, and way better on this show where he's like a generic character. I'd rather have someone who's actually interesting instead of being a generic, nobody character. And plus, Hawkgirl's is better. I'm sorry. Hawkgirl's the better character than Hawkman, in my opinion. I don't like yelling that much, but I want to yell sometimes. Also, I'm pretty sure Black Mask dies in this episode. Good. Anyways, next episode. Episode 12 through 13. Lost Heroes. We finally made it. So the heroes go missing. And we reveal that Dr. Hugo Strange ended up escaping from the season 4 finale, and he was one of the few escapees. What does that mean? That if the character doesn't appear in season 5, it means they're most likely dead? What do you mean? You mean if they did not appear in season 5 and they were in Arkham Asylum at that point, you mean that they most likely died? Off screen with the dead Catwoman, dead. Probably more characters are all dead. Sorry, but what? And also, I guess Dr. Hugo Strange is back, and then he gets like vegetized, and now they make a joke about it. He's gonna be the most patient, which isn't really funny to make a joke about someone who just got turned into a vegetable. Oh, but now we'll finally. Oh my God. Sorry, guys. Oh man, the show has some ups and downs, but I can't wait to do this outro. Guys, it was very sad seeing the Batman show go off the deep end and become so bad. But in retrospect, why did I even make this video? The Batman's been over for so long. And honestly, it should have been stuck this way. There was going to be a movie called The Batman vs. Hush, which would have been about Hush, but I'm sorry, I'm just done with the Batman, okay? After writing this video, I just realized that I didn't really like this show that much. The first 2 seasons were great, yeah, but after that, season 3 and 4 were hit or miss, and season 5 was one of the worst seasons of animated television I've ever seen. So overall, the Batman was never really that good. Okay? I might end up doing more videos about animated superhero shows, but listen, my next video is probably just gonna be about my next video is probably just gonna finish off the DC Iceberg. Anyways, though, guys, I'll see you next time. I also did not expect for this to become a 40-minute video. I wanted it to be half that long and just about season 5. But hey, it ballooned into this. But anyways, goodbye.